Callie walked slowly along the serene riverbank, her steps tinged with a mixture of nostalgia and sorrow. It had been years since she last visited this spot, avoiding it due to the painful memories it harbored. This riverside path once echoed with laughter and joyful conversations during the walks she shared with her family. Those were simpler times, imbued with an easy, unappreciated happiness. Now, the very beauty of the river, with its gentle flow and the whispering of the leaves in the breeze, served as a poignant reminder of what she had lost. Each step brought a flood of bittersweet recollections, turning one of her most cherished places into a landscape of heartache and longing. Despite the pain, Callie felt a deep connection to this place, as it held the essence of her happiest memories, a bridge between her past joy and present sorrow. Callie and Tucker's relationship was rooted in a love that was profound and unwavering. Together, they had weathered numerous storms, their bond growing stronger with each challenge. Among the most trying of these was Tucker's battle with testicular cancer. This diagnosis not only tested their emotional resilience, but also confronted them with a painful reality. They would never be able to have biological children. This revelation was a significant hurdle, as they had both dreamed of one day raising a family together. However, their love proved to be their greatest strength. They supported each other through every step of Tucker's treatment, finding new ways to nurture their relationship and redefine their future. Callie and Tucker's home was a sanctuary of love, laughter, and joy, a testament to their belief that love can triumph over the most daunting challenges. Their relationship had become a beacon of hope and resilience, inspiring many around them. As time flowed on, significant milestones were reached. Callie celebrated her 45th birthday and Tucker his 48th. Amidst these celebrations, a silent longing lingered in their hearts. Though they had never openly discussed it, both yearned to fill their home with the vibrant energy of children, the sound of laughter echoing through the halls, the lively patter of little feet, the warmth and chaos that come with raising a family. Finally, they made a life-changing decision. They chose to embrace the path of adoption, opening their hearts and home to a new chapter. This decision was not made lightly, but with deep thought and mutual understanding. They recognized that while they could not have biological children, their capacity to love and nurture was boundless. In the bustling atmosphere of the children's home, brimming with the eager anticipation of many young, hopeful faces, Callie's attention was drawn irresistibly to a lively 3-year-old named Bella. Despite a noticeable limp that slightly altered her gait, Bella exuded a sense of vibrancy and joy. Her radiant smile and seemingly endless energy were profoundly moving to Callie. This spirited little girl, facing her own unique challenges with such resilience, seemed like the perfect fit for their family. Callie felt an inexplicable, instantaneous connection to Bella, a feeling that this bright-eyed child was meant to be their daughter. Amidst this heartwarming scene, another young girl approached them. She was notable for her thin, slightly curved legs, which hinted at her own physical challenges. Yet her approach was marked by a quiet confidence and an inquisitive gaze. This unexpected encounter added another layer of emotion to the moment, underscoring the profound impact and potential of this visit. The young girl's struggle to walk did not overshadow the depth and curiosity in her strikingly blue eyes. As she gazed at Callie and Tucker with an innocence tinged with seriousness, Callie was deeply moved. She instinctively knelt down to meet the little girl's gaze at eye level, her heart full of compassion. "Hello, my name is Callie. What's your name, sweetie?" Callie asked gently, her voice soft and welcoming. The girl studied Callie with an intensity beyond her years. After a pause, filled with silent contemplation, she unexpectedly reached out, wrapping her arms around Callie in a tender embrace. Then, in a voice barely above a whisper, she uttered a single word that resonated deeply within Callie: "Mama." In that unexpected, heart-stirring moment, Callie felt a gentle tug. She turned to see the director of the home, signaling that it was time to move on. As a teacher gently tried to coax the little girl away from Callie, the child's distress was evident. Her reaction tugged at Callie's heartstrings, leaving her feeling a complex mix of emotions, a blend of compassion, attachment, and a sense of responsibility towards this child. Once they had stepped away, the director spoke with a hurried tone. "I'm so sorry. Bella has some health issues. We can find you another child, a healthy one." Callie's heart felt heavy at these words. The suggestion to consider another child, as if Bella and this little girl were just interchangeable options, did not sit well with her. Callie and Tucker's wealth was well known, and the director of the children's home was keenly aware of it. Sensing an opportunity, she tried to leverage their financial status to benefit the home. Her strategy was clear. By matching Callie and Tucker with a healthy and traditionally appealing child, she hoped they might become generous benefactors, providing much-needed support for the home. However, the director's words struck a discordant chord with Callie. As she listened, a surge of anger welled up inside her. The suggestion that they should choose a child based on health and appearance, as if selecting a pet from a store, was deeply offensive to her. Callie, with her heart already opening to the children she had just met, found the director's approach not only insensitive, but fundamentally against her values. Turning to the director, Callie's voice was firm, yet controlled. "We're not here to shop for a child, as one might select a new car based on its features. Every child here deserves a loving home, regardless of their health or how they look." Tucker, standing beside her, nodded in agreement. His expression was one of quiet support, reinforcing Callie's stance. The director, taken aback by Callie's response, tried to recover. "I apologize. I didn't mean to imply..." But Callie interrupted. "No child here is less deserving of a family because of their health. We came here to find a child to love, not to make a transaction." The director, sensing Callie's displeasure, quickly tried to justify her approach. She shifted the conversation to provide more background on Bella, perhaps in an attempt to appear more considerate and informative. "Please understand, Mrs. Myers, it's important you know everything before making a decision," the director began cautiously. "Bella's background is a bit complicated. Her mother, unfortunately, had issues with alcohol and drug abuse. We want to ensure that you are fully aware of the potential challenges that might arise from such a history." Tucker chimed in, his tone understanding yet resolute. "We appreciate your concern, but every child has a story, and that doesn't diminish their need for a loving home. We're not looking for a child without challenges. We're looking to give a child, like Bella, a chance at a happy, stable life." The director's abrupt departure left Callie and Tucker momentarily stunned. Her parting words, "Well, I've warned you," hung in the air, delivered with a tone that implied resignation rather than empathy. Without another word, she turned on her heel and briskly walked back to her office, leaving the Myers standing in a mixture of surprise and disappointment. Callie and Tucker exchanged a look of mutual bewilderment. The director's sudden exit and the lack of any further discussion or guidance was unexpected and disconcerting. It was clear that the conversation had taken an unwelcome turn, and the atmosphere had shifted palpably. Realizing that the day had not unfolded as they had hoped, and sensing the tension that now permeated the environment, they decided it would be best to leave and return another day. Leaving the children's home that day proved to be far more difficult than Callie and Tucker had anticipated. Bella, the bright-eyed little girl who had captured their hearts, seemed to sense their impending departure and clung to them with a tenacity that was both heartwarming and heart-wrenching. Her small arms wrapped around them, holding on as if she already understood the depth of the connection that had begun to form. The sight of her tears and the feel of her tiny hands refusing to let go left an indelible mark on both Callie and Tucker. As they gently pried themselves away, promising to return, the image of Bella's tear-streaked face stayed with them, especially with Callie. That night, and for several nights thereafter, Callie found herself tossing and turning, unable to find peace in sleep. The memory of Bella's tears, her expressive eyes filled with a mixture of hope and sadness, haunted her. She replayed the moment of their goodbye over and over, each time feeling a renewed sense of urgency and compassion for the little girl. As the date of their next appointment at the children's home approached, Callie's determination had only strengthened. She was resolute in her decision to adopt Bella, the little girl who had so deeply touched her heart. Callie's nights, filled with thoughts of Bella, had only served to fortify her conviction that Bella was meant to be part of their family. However, a new complexity had arisen. Tucker, who had initially shared Callie's enthusiasm and commitment, began to express some doubts. These hesitations were primarily influenced by conversations with his sister, Riley. Tucker's change of heart seemed to stem from Riley's perspective, which may have highlighted potential challenges and considerations that Tucker hadn't fully contemplated before. The relationship between Callie and Riley, Tucker's sister, was strained, marked by tension and misunderstanding. This discord became more pronounced after Tucker's diagnosis of testicular cancer. Riley, grappling with her brother's illness, directed a significant portion of her frustration and distress towards Callie. She seemed to hold Callie responsible for various challenges and hardships that arose during Tucker's treatment and recovery. This blame, whether due to misplaced emotions or misunderstandings, created a rift between the two women. Callie, on her part, had tried to navigate these difficulties with understanding, recognizing that Riley's reactions might stem from fear and concern for her brother. However, the continual strain had undoubtedly impacted their relationship, making interactions tense and communication challenging. When Riley learned of Callie and Tucker's intention to adopt a 3-year-old child who might have health issues, her concerns reached a boiling point. Riley, deeply protective of her brother, wanted only the best for him. In her eyes, the decision to adopt a potentially unhealthy child was another in a series of problems she associated with Callie. Determined to express her worries, Riley arranged a secret meeting with Tucker. During this conversation, she candidly expressed her apprehensions. "Tucker, you need someone who brings less complication into your life," Riley urged, her voice tinged with concern. "Perhaps it's time to consider a future with someone other than Callie. She seems to attract problems." Despite Riley's persuasive arguments, Tucker was not entirely swayed. He appreciated his sister's care but also knew the depth of his relationship with Callie. A few days before their scheduled visit to the children's home, Riley paid an unexpected visit to Callie and Tucker's house. The conversation, initially cordial, took a sharp turn when Riley implied that Callie had orchestrated the adoption plan from the beginning, suggesting a level of manipulation and premeditation. Callie, already strained by the ongoing tensions and Tucker's recent doubts, felt deeply hurt by this accusation. The suggestion that her intentions were anything but genuine and heartfelt was particularly painful. She had approached the adoption process with pure intentions, driven by a desire to give love and a home to a child in need. In a moment of emotional exhaustion, Callie turned to Tucker, her voice laced with frustration and pain. "Fine. You decide, Tucker. I love you deeply, and all I've ever wanted was to build a happy family with you. But I'm tired of constantly defending my intentions and fighting against these accusations. If being a mother means facing endless skepticism and doubt, especially from those closest to us, then I need to step back." Arriving breathless at the riverbank, Callie's anxious heart skipped a beat at the tender scene unfolding before her eyes. Tucker, her beloved husband, was seated on the grass by the water, his face radiant with a genuine, joyful smile. Beside him was the little girl from the children's home, the same child who had captured their hearts. Bella, with her innocent charm and vibrant energy, was happily enjoying an ice cream cone, engaging Tucker in a lively, albeit somewhat disjointed, conversation. Tucker, clearly out of his element but thoroughly enjoying the moment, laughed heartily at Bella's attempts to converse. His affection and warmth towards her were unmistakable. As Callie approached, her initial rush of concern gave way to a profound sense of wonder and love. Her steps slowed almost hesitantly as she drew closer, taking in every detail of this unexpected tableau. Then, as Tucker looked up and their eyes met, a wave of emotions washed over her. In that instant, any remnants of doubt or fear melted away, replaced by an overwhelming feeling of rightness. Bella's attention shifted to Callie, and her eyes lit up with recognition and delight. "Mommy!" she exclaimed, her voice filled with the pure joy of a child who feels safe and loved. Callie's eyes filled with tears of happiness as she realized the magnitude of what was happening. Tucker had not only accepted their decision to adopt Bella, but he had also embraced it wholeheartedly. Callie's connection with Bella, now solidified by the child's presence in their lives, was a source of immense joy and fulfillment. Turning to Tucker, her eyes brimming with emotion, Callie expressed her deepest feelings. "Now that she's here, I hope you understand. I can't bear the thought of letting her go, of hearing her cry again. Please, we need to do something. I know we can make this work." Over the ensuing years, Callie and Tucker, driven by their love and unwavering commitment, dedicated themselves to Bella's well-being. They sought out the best pediatric clinics, determined to address Bella's physical challenges. Their efforts, combined with numerous treatments and Bella's own resilience, paid off. The once noticeable limp in Bella's walk gradually disappeared, and the difficulties she had faced became a distant memory. As Bella grew, her love for both Callie and Tucker was evident. Yet, Callie noticed Bella's particular fondness for Tucker. It was perhaps the natural bond between father and daughter, or simply Bella's personality, but she always seemed especially excited for Tucker's return from work and missed him deeply when he was away. Callie couldn't help but feel a twinge of jealousy witnessing the affectionate moments between Bella and Tucker, the hugs, the kisses, the joyous celebrations at his return. These displays of love, though heartwarming, also stirred a sense of longing in her. These feelings, though unintentional, were often visible on Callie's face, not going unnoticed by the observant Bella. Sensing her mother's emotions, Bella would rush over to Callie with a child's instinctive desire to comfort. Wrapping her arms around her, Bella would say, "Mommy, I love Daddy, but I love you so much too." Bella's heartfelt demonstrations of love always had a profound effect on Callie, dispelling any fleeting pangs of jealousy and filling her with immense warmth and gratitude. As Bella settled into their lives, Callie often found herself marveling at how seamlessly Bella had become an integral part of their family. The initial months of Bella's presence in their home transformed it in ways Callie hadn't imagined, infusing it with a new vibrancy and joy. Callie would sometimes catch herself in moments of reflection, thinking about the serendipitous chain of events that brought Bella into their lives. The idea that they might never have met Bella, that their lives could have continued without her, seemed unthinkable now. Bella's laughter, her playful energy, and her loving nature had become essential to the rhythm of their daily lives. By the time Bella celebrated her 6th birthday, her sense of belonging within the family was unshakable. She carried a firm belief that she was meant to be with Callie and Tucker, that they were her true parents. In the whirlwind of life, they somehow overlooked the crucial detail of informing Bella about her adoption. This oversight wasn't due to negligence, but perhaps due to the seamless bond they had formed with her from the beginning. As time passed, the idea of revealing this truth became increasingly daunting. Tucker, with a worried frown, voiced his concern. "She's not a little girl anymore. Bella's grown up with a certain understanding of her identity. Discovering now that she's adopted could be a shock to her." Callie sighed, her eyes reflecting a mix of regret and fear. "I'm worried about how this might change the way she sees us, or even herself. We've always been a close-knit family. I'd hate for this to create a rift." The couple contemplated the complexity of their situation. Bella, now a teenager, had established her sense of self and her place in the world. The fear that this late revelation might disrupt her sense of security and belonging weighed heavily on them. "Perhaps we've missed our opportunity," Tucker said softly. "And now we have to consider what's best for Bella in the long run. Is it fair to upheave her world with this truth now?" Callie, lost in thought, finally spoke. "We've always strived to do what's best for Bella. Maybe the kindest thing we can do is to continue loving and supporting her as we always have, without burdening her with this." Around the same period, Tucker received an unexpected but enticing job offer from a different city. It was a significant promotion, presenting not just a career advancement, but also a substantial change in their family life. Callie and Tucker, still grappling with the dilemma of Bella's adoption disclosure, saw this relocation as an opportunity. They reasoned that moving to a new city could serve multiple purposes. It would not only advance Tucker's career, but also potentially help in keeping Bella's adoption a secret. "This could be a fresh start for all of us," Tucker said, trying to sound optimistic. "A new city, new people, and new experiences. It might be just what we need right now." Callie, although initially hesitant about the upheaval, began to see the positives. It's true. This could be a way to protect Bella from a potentially painful truth. And it's not just about hiding her adoption, it's about ensuring her happiness and stability. After moving, Bella quickly thrived in her new environment. She distinguished herself as a star student at school, achieving academic excellence and engaging in various activities. Her days were a delicate balance of academics, hobbies, and extracurricular pursuits. Despite her demanding schedule, Bella continued to be a loving and caring daughter. For Callie and Tucker, the distinction between adopted and biological had faded long ago. They cherished Bella deeply, feeling as if she had always been part of their family. Years passed, and as the sun rose on graduation day, Bella, who had once been a playful child with pigtails bouncing as she ran, had matured into an elegant young woman. Her aspirations were as vast and bright as the stars above, and her graduation marked not just the culmination of her academic journey, but also the threshold of boundless future possibilities. The day was set to be a joyous celebration, a milestone in her life's journey. The air was filled with excitement, with graduates donning their caps and gowns, and families buzzing with pride. But amidst this atmosphere of achievement and hope, an unexpected twist awaited Bella. A woman, seemingly a stranger yet with a familiar air, made her way through the crowd towards Bella. Her eyes held depths of untold stories, and her voice, though trembling with emotion, carried an undeniable sincerity. She introduced herself to Bella, revealing her identity as Bella's birth mother. The revelation sent a shockwave through Bella, who stood frozen, her mind racing to comprehend this sudden turn of events. The woman, with a mix of courage and vulnerability, began to share her story, the difficulties she faced in the past and the heart-wrenching decision to give Bella up for adoption. As the woman's narrative unfolded, Bella was enveloped in a whirlwind of emotions. Confusion, curiosity, and a sense of surrealism washed over her. Bella's graduation day, which was supposed to be filled with straightforward happiness, had suddenly become a complex tapestry of revelations. "Why didn't they ever tell you?" the woman asked, her tone tinged with a blend of accusation and sorrow. "You deserved to know. They kept this a secret from you all these years." Bella, grappling with this unexpected encounter, felt a tide of questions rising within her. She thought of her parents, Callie and Tucker, and the loving home they had provided. Yet, now she was confronted with a truth that seemed to challenge the very foundation of her identity. Bella's heart was heavy as she faced Callie and Tucker that evening. The joy of graduation had been overshadowed by a revelation that shook her world. She sat down with them, her mind a whirlpool of emotions. The woman's words echoed in her ears, igniting a desire for truth and understanding. With a deep breath to steady her nerves, Bella initiated the conversation, her voice barely above a whisper. "Mom, Dad, who was that woman I met earlier today?" She watched their faces intently, searching for any clue in their expressions. The room, filled with an almost tangible tension, fell into a profound silence. Callie and Tucker exchanged a glance, a silent communication passing between them. Their faces, a complex tapestry of fear, guilt, and deep concern, confirmed Bella's growing suspicions. The air was thick with unspoken truths, making it harder for Bella to breathe. "Please," she implored, her voice stronger now. "I need to know the truth, all of it." Callie, with a deep sigh, reached for Bella's hand, a gesture of love and reassurance. Tucker, his eyes reflecting a world of regret, took a deep breath. They knew the moment of truth had arrived. It was time to unveil the story that had remained hidden for years, a story that would change their family forever. Bella's words, filled with a mix of love and pain, hung heavily in the air. "I love you both so much. You're my world. But why hide the truth from me?" she asked, her voice trembling with emotion. Tucker, visibly struggling with his own feelings, replied with a heavy heart. "We didn't deliberately lie, Bella. We chose to withhold information that we felt might hurt you." Bella's frustration was palpable as she retorted, "Withhold?" Her voice rose in disbelief, and she began to pace the room, her agitation clear. "So now, how should I feel, knowing that another woman has been out there, yearning for me, mourning for me, while I lived in blissful ignorance?" Callie, her voice cautious and hesitant, tried to add perspective. "We can't be certain that everything she told you is accurate, Bella." But it was evident that their words did little to ease Bella's turmoil. In the days that followed, the once warm and open relationship between Bella and her parents began to unravel. Bella grew increasingly distant, often coming home late or not returning at all, claiming to be at a friend's house. Callie, worried and suspicious, couldn't shake off the thought that Bella might be spending time with her birth mother. Bella's interactions with Callie and Tucker became more strained and infrequent. She shut herself off, creating an emotional barrier that felt impenetrable. Her silence was a stark contrast to the lively, open conversations they once shared. Tucker, in his attempts to mend the growing rift, reached out to Bella repeatedly. Yet, each effort was met with cold indifference. Bella's once warm and affectionate demeanor had been replaced by a wall of detachment. The once close-knit community that Callie, Tucker, and Bella were a part of began to whisper and murmur as the news of Bella's adoption and the appearance of her birth mother spread. Bella, facing the storm of adolescence and identity crisis, was now subjected to cruel taunts from her peers. One day, a particularly spiteful classmate sneered at her, saying, "One day you were hungry and homeless, and then they took pity on you." These words, meant to wound, deeply affected Bella, adding to her feelings of alienation and confusion. Then, a day arrived that shattered the fragile semblance of normalcy they had been clinging to. Bella vanished, leaving behind a house stripped of valuables. Her parting words, left in a note for Callie and Tucker, were both a goodbye and an explanation. "I've decided to go where I'm really needed right now. My birth mom is going through a tough time. She's sick and doesn't have much money. I feel it's important for me to be there with her. Please don't try to find me. You've gotten by without me before, and I know you can handle things again. Thanks for understanding." Callie's world, already unsteady from the recent events, tilted on its axis once more. The loss of Bella left her feeling numb and hollow, as if a vital piece of her very being had been ripped away. Friends and acquaintances, unable to fathom the depth of Callie and Tucker's decision, questioned why they never sought to find Bella. But Callie, in her heart, believed in respecting Bella's choices, painful though they were. Amidst this bleak landscape of loss and sorrow, a small glimmer of hope emerged. A letter arrived, accompanied by a photograph. It showed Bella, looking radiant and happy, standing beside her biological mother. The note with the photograph conveyed Bella's newfound joy and contentment in her new life with her birth mother. As the years gradually passed, Callie clung to the hope that Bella would one day return to their lives. However, as time wore on, that hope dimmed, leaving a persistent ache in its place. Bella's absence cast a long shadow over their home, a constant reminder of what they had lost. During these years of quiet reflection and lingering heartache, Tucker began to express his thoughts, tinged with regret. He reminded Callie of the warnings they had received from various people over the years, including cautionary advice from his sister, Riley. These reflections were not accusations, but rather musings on what could have been done differently. Callie, hearing Tucker's words, felt a surge of disbelief and hurt. "How can you say that now, after all these years?" she asked, her voice tinged with a mix of sadness and frustration. "We did what we thought was best for Bella." Tucker sighed, his expression one of weariness and regret. "I know we did, Callie, but maybe we should have listened more, been more open to the possibility that we were wrong." Callie shook her head, her eyes brimming with tears. "Bella was, is, and will always be our daughter. We raised her, loved her, gave her everything we could. That has to count for something." Sometimes Callie found herself frequently drawn to the riverbank, a place that held a tapestry of family memories. She would take a day off from work and drive there. It was more than just a scenic spot. It was a symbol of the numerous joyful moments they had shared as a family. Each visit to the riverbank was a poignant reminder of the past, filled with echoes of laughter and the warmth of days gone by. However, there was a particular spot along the riverbank that Callie found herself avoiding, a place that was emblematic of a significant chapter in their lives, where Bella's journey with them had begun. Despite the draw of the memories, Callie couldn't bring herself to approach this specific area. It was as if an invisible barrier stood between her and the spot, a mix of pain and nostalgia holding her back. On a serene day, Callie strolled alongside the river, deeply immersed in her thoughts. Her reverie was abruptly interrupted when she felt a gentle tug on her sleeve. Turning around, she saw a small, frail girl, no more than 7 years old, extending Callie's dropped wallet towards her. The child's worn, tattered clothes and delicate frame hinted at a life of hardship and neglect, immediately awakening a sense of protectiveness in Callie. Attempting to engage with the child, Callie realized the girl's silence wasn't just shyness. Her gestures and demeanor suggested she might be deaf or mute. "Hey, sweetie, are you lost? Where are your parents?" Callie inquired gently, hoping to coax some response from the girl. Yet she remained silent, her expressive dark blue eyes conveying a world of emotions. Seeking to build a rapport, Callie reached into her pocket and offered a piece of candy. The girl's eyes instantly sparkled with joy, and she accepted the treat, yet continued to stand there, looking somewhat lost. Unsure of the best course of action, Callie decided to accompany the girl to the nearby park, hoping to locate her parents. As they ambled past an ice cream truck, the girl's gaze became transfixed on it. Noticing her interest, Callie led her towards the truck. While Callie was searching her wallet for some cash to pay for an ice cream cone, the girl's attention was drawn to a photograph tucked inside the wallet. She pointed to it and, in a barely audible whisper, said, "Mama," her eyes brimming with tears. Startled and concerned, Callie gently asked, "What's wrong, sweetie? Why are you crying?" The girl, overcome with emotion, could only repeat, "Mama," her voice quivering, her small finger still resting on the photo. Callie, baffled by the situation, instinctively tried to offer comfort to the distressed child. As they stood there, a small crowd began to form around them, their faces reflecting a blend of concern and curiosity. From among the onlookers, a woman stepped forward, her demeanor kind and understanding. She reached out to gently pat the little girl, Leah, on the back, while turning to Callie to explain the situation. "That's Leah," the woman said, her voice tinged with sympathy. "She lives on our street. Her mom, Bella, has been hospitalized recently, and Leah's grandmother, who's supposed to be looking after her, hasn't been very attentive. She's often seen wandering around, probably in search of her mom. A few months back, a neighbor's dog scared her badly, and since then, she hasn't spoken a word. Bella has been doing her best to manage everything on her own, but it's evident that Leah is in need of some medical care." Callie's reaction was one of immediate surprise upon hearing the name Bella. As Bella lay in the hospital bed, her mind raced with worry, her face etched with the discomfort of appendicitis. "Why did this have to happen today?" she murmured, her voice tinged with frustration. Her thoughts drifted to the paycheck she was counting on, the one that was meant to sustain her for the next 2 weeks. At home, her daughter Leah was under the care of Amber, Bella's biological mother, but Bella couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. To her, leaving Leah with Amber was almost akin to leaving her alone. Bella reflected on her tumultuous relationship with Amber. When they first reunited, Amber had painted herself as a tragic figure, a mother torn apart from her child by a cruel husband and harsh circumstances. She spun tales of hardship and struggle, claiming that social services had unjustly snatched Bella away and placed her in a children's home. Amber had skillfully portrayed herself as a lifelong victim, searching desperately for Bella, whom she claimed was hidden away by her adoptive parents. Initially, Bella, young and naive, had been swayed by Amber's stories. However, it didn't take long for the veil to lift, revealing Amber's true nature, a self-centered woman more invested in her own dramas than in her daughter's well-being. The realization brought a crushing sense of guilt over Bella for having doubted her adoptive parents, a guilt so profound that she couldn't bear to face them again. Tom had entered Bella's life as a breath of fresh air, a source of hope and support. His optimism had been a comforting balm, and when Bella discovered she was pregnant, she was eager to share the joyous news with him. Tom's reaction, though, was unexpectedly shallow. "That's amazing," he had cheered, but instead of offering support, he chose to celebrate by getting excessively drunk with Amber. Their shared celebrations became a frequent, disturbing pattern. As Bella's pregnancy progressed, she grew increasingly disheartened by Tom's irresponsibility and Amber's influence on him. Finally, in her 8th month, Bella reached her breaking point. She made the bold decision to throw Tom out, refusing to tolerate his behavior any longer, especially in an apartment for which she alone bore the financial burden. Bella's determination to return home was palpable as she struggled to rise from the hospital bed. The nurse, with a blend of professionalism and maternal concern, rushed to her side. Now, where do you think you're off to in such a hurry, young lady?" she asked, her tone firm yet caring. "I need to get back home," Bella replied, her voice laden with urgency. "My daughter, she's there all by herself." The nurse, her eyebrows knitting in worry, responded firmly, "You just had surgery yesterday, my dear. It's far too soon for you to be thinking about leaving." Bella's resolve didn't waver. "But I must go. My daughter needs me," she insisted, grasping the headboard in an attempt to hoist herself up. The nurse, quick to act, administered an injection, her movements practiced and swift. A sudden wave of drowsiness enveloped Bella, her eyelids becoming heavy as a serene calmness washed over her. "It's all right," the nurse soothed, gently easing Bella back down. "You're still under the effects of the anesthesia. Rest now, sweetie. You need to regain your strength." As the room faded into the background, Bella's resolve momentarily flickered out. Upon waking, dusk had transformed the room, casting gentle shadows around her. Bella's earlier determination reignited. This might be the perfect time, she thought, feeling a newfound energy. She rose effortlessly, poised to leave. However, her plans were abruptly interrupted as the door flew open. The family of her roommate entered, their lively greetings filling the room. Cornered and unable to leave, Bella reluctantly returned to her bed, feigning sleep. Bella lay in the hospital bed, her mind momentarily wandering to Leah and the unfortunate circumstances that had rendered her daughter voiceless. Children's voices are so precious, she thought wistfully, her heart aching with the desire to secure the necessary help for Leah's condition. Her musings were abruptly interrupted by the feel of a small hand clasping hers. Bella's eyes snapped open, a mix of surprise and hope lighting them up. "Leah? Leah! Is that you?" she gasped, her voice filled with an emotion she hadn't felt in a long time. The joy of seeing her daughter was overwhelming, but as Bella attempted to sit up quickly to embrace Leah, a sharp pain stabbed at her side, a stark reminder of her recent surgery. She grimaced, holding back a cry of pain, and then, more carefully, gathered Leah into a loving, albeit gentle, embrace. Her eyes welled up with tears, a mix of pain and happiness. Bella, her voice tinged with curiosity and concern, asked, "How did you find your way here, sweetie? This hospital is so far from our home." As she smothered Leah with kisses, Bella remained unaware of the presence of another person in the room. It was Callie's voice, soft yet unmistakable, that drew Bella's attention. "Hello, Bella," she said, standing at the foot of the bed. Bella's gaze shifted, locking onto Callie's. A flood of emotions overwhelmed her as she recognized her adoptive mother. "Mom," she whispered, her voice quivering. The realization of her past actions, the remorse for the choices she had made, and the overwhelming sense of relief at seeing Callie again, all came crashing down on her. Tears streamed down Bella's cheeks as she faced Callie. The regret in her eyes was palpable as she murmured apologies, her words barely audible through her sobs. She couldn't help but feel unworthy of the forgiveness she so desperately sought. Overcome with emotion, Bella eased herself down to her knees beside the bed, her vision blurred by the tears that continued to fall. As Bella crumpled under the weight of her emotions, Callie stepped forward with maternal instinct, swiftly helping her to stand. She then wrapped Bella in a warm, reassuring embrace, offering the comfort that only a mother's arms could provide. Breaking the heavy silence, Bella's voice trembled with remorse. "Mom, I'm so sorry. I truly am. You and Dad gave me everything, and I just turned my back on you," she confessed, her tears flowing freely. Bella's voice was heavy with guilt as she added, "I don't deserve to be your daughter after all the pain I caused you." Bella's life lesson had indeed come at a steep price, her realization marked by the pain etched in her words. Callie, her eyes brimming with compassion, managed a gentle smile amidst the emotional turmoil. "My dear, when you left, it broke my heart, it truly did. But I never let anger or hatred taint my love for you. I understood, even though I didn't agree. You were trying to reconnect with your biological mother, to understand where you came from. Her life was fraught with challenges, and while I can't agree with all her choices, I am eternally grateful to her for one thing. She brought you into this world. You are, and always will be, a precious gift to us." Callie's words, spoken with such heartfelt sincerity, pierced through Bella's heart, intensifying her tears. Bella had always been nearby, haunting the edges of their lives, yet too burdened by shame to approach. Callie reflected on Bella's painful admission, then gently replied, "We all stumble, Bella, and some falls are harder than others. But remember, our mistakes aren't solely our own. I've missed you. You're still the dearest part of my life no matter what's happened." Days later, as Bella readied to leave the hospital, Leah stood beside her, radiant in a new, charming dress. Callie, nearby, seemed transformed, her posture lighter, as if freed from an invisible burden. "Are you both ready to go home?" Callie's voice was soft and inviting, a comforting embrace in itself. Leah's response was exuberant. "Yes, home! With you, Grandma! And Mommy!" Her eyes sparkled with excitement. The car ride was initially silent, a reflective space. But soon, Leah's youthful curiosity broke the quiet, peppering Callie with questions. Callie answered each with unwavering patience and affection. Leah then turned her questioning gaze towards Bella. "Mommy, why haven't we visited Grandma Callie's before? I want to spend more time with her." Bella faltered, words escaping her. Sensing the tension, Callie smoothly intervened. "Sweetheart, your mommy was helping Grandma Amber for a while." Leah frowned slightly. "I don't like Grandma Amber much." "Why, honey?" Bella asked, her voice tinged with concern. "She's mean to me sometimes." Callie, ever the diplomat, added, "Well, love, Grandma Amber has had her struggles. She might not have been the kindest, but she won't hurt you anymore, I promise." Leah seemed reassured, her attention shifting to the passing scenery outside. Arriving at Callie's warm and inviting home, Leah's youthful zest had her dashing towards the house. Bella, overcome with emotion, embraced Callie tightly. After a moment, she stepped back, her eyes moist. "Thank you, Mum, for giving me another chance," Bella whispered. As Bella and Leah began their new life at Callie's, the initial days were a mix of settling in and adapting. Several days into their stay at Callie's, the topic of Amber arose. Callie gently suggested that Bella should let Amber know where they were. With trepidation, Bella composed a letter to her birth mother, keeping its contents private from Callie. As Leah's birthday approached, Bella threw herself into the preparations, hoping to distract her mind and find solace in the joy of the occasion. One afternoon, while Callie was out shopping for groceries and birthday supplies, including vibrant wrapping paper for Leah's gifts, she encountered a strikingly familiar figure. Outside the store, a disheveled woman sat with a plastic cup containing a few coins, her gaze downturned. As Callie drew nearer, she realized with a pang of sympathy that the woman was Amber. Despite the negative history, Callie couldn't help but feel a profound sense of compassion for her current plight, contrasting sharply with the image she had formed from Bella's stories. That evening, Callie's dining room radiated warmth, and the air was filled with the delicious scents of their dinner preparations. Bella, Leah, and Callie worked in harmony, their laughter and chatter creating a cozy familial atmosphere as they assembled salads and adorned a birthday cake. The house was a haven of love and understanding, a testament to the bonds of family. The dinner table was beautifully set, the air fragrant with the aroma of freshly baked bread and enticing dishes. Callie, glancing momentarily at her watch and then back at Bella and Leah, revealed a hint of mystery in her eyes. "Everything looks perfect," Callie announced, her voice warm. "But before we begin, there's something we need to do. We're expecting a guest tonight. It might be difficult, especially for you, Bella, but it's important to embrace the future, letting go of past grievances." Bella's expression mixed curiosity with apprehension as Callie approached the front door. Upon opening it, they were met with a familiar face, yet altered. There stood Amber, her previously unkempt appearance now transformed, her hair neatly tied, symbolizing perhaps a new beginning. Her attire was modest but neat, and her posture bore the marks of a hard journey. Most notable, however, was the transformation in her eyes, which now held a complex blend of hope and trepidation. Bella's pulse quickened at the sight of her biological mother, changed yet unmistakably familiar. Callie had chanced upon Amber outside the store, leading to an unexpected heart-to-heart. Amber had candidly shared her regrets, acknowledging the hurt she had caused. Tears had welled in her eyes as she expressed a willingness to exit their lives for good, if that's what Callie desired. Her plea for forgiveness was not about re-entering their lives, but rather about the hope for a new start elsewhere. Callie, moved by Amber's emotional vulnerability, spoke with heartfelt empathy. "Amber, forgiveness isn't an approval of past actions. It's about choosing understanding, love, and new beginnings over lingering bitterness." Amber, visibly shaken by the weight of her past deeds, murmured softly, "I don't deserve forgiveness. I've caused so much pain. To Bella, to you." Callie gently touched Amber's arm, her voice soothing. "Forgiveness isn't about deserving. It's about recognizing mistakes and a genuine desire for change. I can see that desire in you now." Overwhelmed, Amber sobbed. "I've been so lost, Callie. I've hurt Bella, Leah. I want to change, but it's hard knowing where to start." With natural compassion, Callie offered, "Why not begin with joining us for dinner tonight?" Callie, with her innate ability to see the best in people, sensed genuine remorse in Amber. She firmly believed in the possibility of redemption for everyone, including Amber. "You're Bella's mother too. Despite our past, I believe in giving everyone a chance at love and family," Callie softly said. Amber's response was a flood of tears. She spoke of her difficult life and brought up Riley, a figure who seemed to have influenced her perceptions. Amber confessed that it was Riley who had planted the idea that Bella was nearby, oblivious to her own adoption. This revelation had initially angered Amber, feeling that Bella's adoptive parents had kept her in the dark about her true origins. As Callie listened, the narrative began to crystallize. She understood that Riley, who had always harbored jealousy towards her brother, might have influenced Amber's thoughts and actions. Riley's personal struggles, including a divorce and childlessness, could have fueled her resentment. However, Callie chose to set these thoughts aside for the time being, focusing instead on the present situation and the healing that needed to take place. The birthday party radiated warmth and joy, with laughter resonating throughout the room and a variety of delicious dishes gracing the table. As the evening drew to a close, Callie, having witnessed Amber's living conditions, gently offered her a place to stay in their home. This gesture of kindness once again moved Amber to tears. Leah's bubbly energy quickly made her popular at her new school. The house was often filled with laughter and lively tales from her school adventures and Bella's college experiences. Simultaneously, Callie and Amber found comfort in each other's company, spending their days in heartfelt conversations. They reminisced about old times, shared amusing stories, and sometimes engaged in light-hearted gossip. Callie, thanks to prudent financial decisions made with her late husband, had secured a comfortable life for her family. However, as time passed, Amber began to feel a sense of restlessness. One day, over a casual cup of tea, she confessed to Callie her discomfort with living off her generosity. She expressed a deep desire to be self-reliant and contribute to their household in some way. Callie, understanding Amber's need for independence, supported her decision. When they learned that a nearby store was hiring, Amber applied and was soon joyfully packing groceries, taking pride in her newfound sense of purpose and independence. Over the following 2 years, the family enjoyed a serene and harmonious life. However, this tranquility was shattered when Callie received a diagnosis of a rare illness that required immediate hospitalization. Medical tests revealed a rapid deterioration of her kidneys, and the doctors stressed the urgent need for a kidney transplant. Faced with a dauntingly long waiting list for a donor and time working against them, the family grappled with worry and uncertainty. It was during this tense period that Amber, moved by the gravity of the situation, made a remarkable decision. She promptly left her job and volunteered to donate her kidney to Callie. The sheer selflessness of this gesture deeply moved Callie, bringing tears to her eyes. Callie, though touched, tried to dissuade Amber, emphasizing that she shouldn't feel compelled to make such a monumental sacrifice, especially with the possibility of other donors. But Amber stood firm in her resolve, expressing a deep commitment to helping Callie, independent of other potential donors. In the weeks that followed, Amber went through extensive medical testing to confirm her suitability as a donor. The results were positive. Amber was a compatible match. This news brought a ray of hope in a time of despair. Holding Bella's hand, Amber said softly, "Your mum has given us so much. Now, it's my turn to give back, to show my gratitude for everything she's done for us." On the day of the transplant surgery, The air was thick with tension and emotion. Callie and Amber, prepared for their respective procedures, shared a poignant moment before being taken to the operating rooms. "You have a big heart, Amber," Callie whispered, her eyes glistening with emotion. "This means everything to me." Amber responded with a gentle smile, giving Callie's hand a reassuring squeeze. "I know, Callie, and it means just as much to me." The surgery stretched on for hours, leaving Bella and Leah in a state of anxious anticipation in the hospital's waiting area. Finally, the doctors emerged with heartening news. The operation was successful. In the days that followed, a notable shift occurred within the family dynamics. There was a deeper sense of unity and vibrancy. Amber, who had previously struggled to find her place, now flourished as an integral member of the household. She embraced the role of a loving grandmother to Leah and became a close friend and confidant to Callie. Her presence was a source of comfort and wisdom, a nurturing force that the family cherished. Bella, meanwhile, was on her own transformative journey. College life was a blend of late-night study sessions, personal challenges, and self-discovery. It was a time of academic rigor and personal growth, helping her uncover her true passions and potential. Throughout each hurdle and hardship, Callie had consistently chosen empathy and understanding as her guiding principles. This choice had not only shaped her life, but had also woven a tapestry of love and warmth that enveloped her family. Standing in the park, a place laden with memories, Callie was overcome with a profound sense of gratitude. She was grateful for the lessons life had taught her, for the people who had become her pillars of strength, and for the grace that had subtly steered her through the years. Lifting her gaze to the sky, Callie's face broke into a genuine, heartfelt smile, a mirror to the serenity and fulfillment residing in her heart. She took a deep breath, savoring the tranquility of the moment, allowing the peace of her surroundings to envelop her. Feeling rejuvenated and content, Callie slowly turned away from the park, each step a testament to her resilience and love. She was ready to continue on her life's path, armed with the wisdom gleaned from her experiences and the boundless love she had both given and received. Her journey was not just a story of overcoming adversity, but a celebration of the enduring power of compassion and family bonds.